You know, with Deadpool and Wolverine out right now, the sixth largest opening weekend in box office history, by miles, the biggest opening weekend for an R-rated film in history, and clearly on its way to joining the $1 billion club. It got me thinking when I was doing the open spoiler discussion for Deadpool and Wolverine about, we've never done like a top 10 list of what I think are the 10 best Ryan Reynolds films. And Ryan Reynolds is one of my top 1, top 2 favorite movie stars. Doesn't hurt that he's a good Canadian kid. That goes a long way with me. So I thought we would take a little bit of time here with Deadpool and Wolverine being out there, that we would talk about what I believe are the other, including the Deadpool films, but the other great films I think Ryan Reynolds has been one of the stars of. So let's get things going here, shall we? And we're going to start off at number 10. And now remember, we're talking about films he's been the star of, not made a quick cameo in or a small little role or something, but like one of the significant stars. So, starting off at number 10. This, a lot of people disagree with this, and I don't care because I thought this was a really nice, special little movie, If. I liked If an awful lot. Now, do I think it's like a top 10 best film of the year? No, I don't think it's top 10, but it's genuine, it's heartfelt. It had me going through a whole bunch of range of emotions through it. It was charming. It was cute. I just really enjoyed the film. I don't think it's a top 5 best Ryan Reynolds film, but I definitely think it has a place for it being in the top 10. So for me, at number 10 on the top 10 Ryan Reynolds list, I've got If. At number 9 is a movie that is much better than it has any business being, and I quite honestly thought it was going to be terrible, and I didn't even think it looked all that good. The Adam Project. Listen, Ryan Reynolds, I love Ryan. He doesn't have the best direct-to-Netflix record, all right? Not the best direct-to-Netflix record. Red Notice, Six Underground, So when The Adam Project was coming out, I honestly did not have high expectations, despite the fact that it's got my all-time number 1 celebrity crush, Jennifer Garner, in it. I didn't think it looked that good, but it was fun. The action was good. It had a nice little mythology to it. It handled time travel better than most time travel movies do. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. So The Adam Project takes number 9 on my spot. All right. At number 8, and I can't believe I have it this low on my list because I love this movie. Just Friends. This is not one of Ryan Reynolds' more popular films, but this is one of his funniest movies. And I know a lot of you probably haven't seen Just Friends. This movie, it's got Amy Smart in it. I love Amy Smart. But this movie is ridiculously funny. And it breaks some of the traditional rom-com tropes in it. It certainly embraces some of the traditional rom-com tropes, but it breaks a lot of them too. It is absolutely hilarious from beginning to end. I think Anna Paquin is, not Anna Paquin, Chris Pratt's ex-wife, Anna Faris, that's it. Anna Faris is in it. It's just wonderful. Again, I can't believe I have it all the way down at number 8. I can't believe I've got it this low on my list, but I do. So at number 8, I have Just Friends. All right. At number 7 on my list of my top 10 Ryan Reynolds films, Deadpool 2. I mean, when they did, obviously when the first Deadpool came out, blew everybody away, destroyed everybody's expectations, way better than anybody thought it could be, and blah, 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 blah. The question then became, everybody was looking forward to a Deadpool 2, but could they actually follow it up, or would Deadpool just be a one-trick pony? Would it just be like, okay, you had the one good one, but the novelty's worn off, blah, blah, blah. Then Deadpool 2 comes out, proves that it wasn't. That the first Deadpool wasn't a fluke, that it wasn't a one-trick pony. Now, I don't think Deadpool 2 is as good as the first one, no, but I still laughed my guts out through it. The action was great. I love the Juggernaut and Colossus fight. I seriously, that is a top 10 favorite fight of mine in comic book movies. Not everybody loves that fight. I love the Juggernaut Colossus fight in it. Josh Brolin was great as Cable. Zazie Beetz as Domino. I really loved it. So Deadpool 2 comes in at number 7 for me. All right. Now we go up to number 6. At number 6, Free Guy. This was... Okay, when I saw the marketing for Free Guy, I thought this looks good. This looks good. It looks like fun. But at the same time, while I thought it looked good and certainly the trailers made me funny and I thought it looked creative, I was expecting to go into enjoying it, but I thought it was going to be, hey, a quick little fun movie, but then becomes pretty forgettable, right? And which is perfectly good. It's great to have movies like that. Movies that just deliver, you watch it, you have a good time watching it, but they don't stick with you later on, and that's fine. That's what I thought with Free Guy. But I loved this movie. It had been a while since a movie had surprised me as much as Free Guy did. Like, I was not expecting to enjoy it nearly as much as I did. Oh my God, the Channing Tatum role in it is so good. Ann and I ended up, I think we went to go see it 3 or 4 times in the first week that it came out. Like, I like this movie so much, and I gushed about it so much because we saw it like 3 times in the first 3 days that it was out, that somebody involved with the film actually emailed me and said, hey, because for those of you who don't know, I'm actually an accredited Rotten Tomatoes critic, but I maybe put up 1 review on it a year at any rate. So somebody connected with Free Guy emailed me and said, hey, I noticed you haven't put up your review on Rotten Tomatoes of Free Guy. We could certainly use the help. Would you mind, since you did enjoy it and since you say you loved it so much, would you put it up? And I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. Even though I only do it like once a year, I'm like, yeah, for Free Guy, I will do it. Free Guy comes in at number 6 on my list. I absolutely love it. If you haven't watched it yet, go check it out. All right. At number 5, now we're getting into the top 5. At number 5 on my list, Definitely Maybe. Listen. Ryan Reynolds was already a name when Definitely Maybe came out. He was already a name. Like, he was recognizable. He was getting work. Ryan Reynolds is a movie star. Yeah. But Definitely Maybe, and this is up for debate, but to me, Definitely Maybe was the movie that established Ryan Reynolds as a star. Ryan Reynolds is a star. He's in this movie where he's starring opposite Elizabeth Banks, Isla Fisher, Rachel Weisz, and he legitimately, even though he's on the screen with that amount of pure acting power, and by the way, Abigail Breslin in it was wonderful as his daughter. He was able to be on the screen with that amount of firepower, and he was the definitive lead of the film, and he was marvelous. It's a funny movie, Definitely Maybe. I think there's probably a bunch of you that haven't seen it yet, but it's also a very tender movie. It's a very thought-provoking movie. It's funny, yes, but it's a very special film. And again, to me, it's the movie that kind of, Ryan Reynolds is already kind of being seen as a movie star, but this is the one that cemented it. And Definitely Maybe, you got to watch it. It's one of the Ryan Reynolds must-watch films. Definitely Maybe comes in at number 5. All right. We now move on to number 4. And at number 4, we've got The Proposal. This movie, to this day, Ann and I will quote The Proposal back and forth to each other. And we watch this movie about once a year. We watch it about once a year, and it never loses any of its potency. It's just an absolutely marvelous, holds up, fantastic movie. Now, of course, I have a little bit of bias because while Ryan Reynolds is Canadian, he doesn't play the Canadian in it. She does. She plays the Canadian in it, but again, it's very much your formulaic rom-com. It is. But sometimes being a formulaic rom-com can be elevated, and this is it. This is one of his best movies. And I absolutely love it. So for me, the proposal comes in at number 4. We want to thank a sponsor of today's episode, Hungryroot. Guys, you know me, I like things that make my life easier, especially things that make it easier for me to eat healthy and eat well, and certainly more effectively than trying to order from food delivery services. Hungryroot is the easiest way to eat healthy. They send you fresh, high-quality groceries, simple, delicious recipes, and essential supplements. It's like having someone else do all the planning and shopping so you don't even have to think about it. Hungryroot gets to know your personal health goals, dietary restrictions, favorite foods, how much time you want to spend cooking, and more. Then, they build you a personalized cart with all your grocery needs for the week, including easy 4-ingredient recipes to put those groceries to use. Each order is fully customizable so you can take their suggestions or choose anything you want. They've got fresh produce, high-quality meat and seafood, healthy snacks, smoothies, sweets, ready-to-eat meals, kids snacks and meals, vitamins and supplements, and much more. Everything from Hungryroot follows a simple standard. It's got to taste good, be quick to make, and contain whole, trusted ingredients. Right now, Hungryroot is offering the John Campea Show listeners 40% off your first delivery and free veggies for life. Just go to hungryroot.com/Campea to get 40% off your first delivery and get your free veggies. That's hungryroot.com/Campea. Don't forget to use our link so that they know we sent you. All right. We now move on to number 3. And at number 3, I've got his newest one, Deadpool and Wolverine. Again, I've seen the film now 3 times, getting ready to go see it for our 4th. Ann and I we've made the decision that we're going to make this movie the one that breaks our record. The movie that holds the record for Ann and I together, going to see it in theaters, was the first Thor movie directed by Kenneth Branagh. We saw that in theater 8 times. I think we are going to see this 9. I think that's the plan. The plan is for us to go see 9. And yeah, listen, we've been talking about Deadpool and Wolverine ad nauseum over the last number of weeks and months. We just did our big full open spoiler discussion. We talked about its box office success yesterday. I don't need to say much more about it now, except that I truly love it. I think it's just a fabulous film. I have it as Ryan Reynolds' number 3 best film. All right. Next up, at number 2, we've got Buried. The number 2 on the list, and I think the number 1, the best performance Ryan Reynolds has ever given. I think it's the number 2 best movie he's done, but I think it's the number 1 best performance he's ever. In all sincerity, I 100% thought he should have been nominated for Best Actor for this. I really, no hyperbole, nothing. He absolutely should have been nominated for Best Actor for this movie. For those of you who don't know much about Buried, and I know many of you have not watched it, the whole movie, the entire movie, takes place in a box, buried 6 feet underground. And Ryan Reynolds wakes up in this box, has no idea how he got there, and all he has is a cell phone and a lighter. And the whole movie takes place in that box as he tries to figure out how he got there and how on earth he's going to get out. And the whole movie takes place in there. And so the whole movie is completely dependent on Reynolds' performance. The whole thing, because when you're in just one little location in the box, the whole, it's not going to be carried by visual effects. It's not going to be carried by action. It's not going to be carried by anything else. The whole movie is totally on the shoulders of Ryan Reynolds' performance. And I think it's the best performance he's ever given. I love it. So yes, Buried is my number 2 Ryan Reynolds film. And at number 1, should come as no surprise to people, I think the best Ryan Reynolds film is the original Deadpool. People have been asking me, because I love Deadpool and Wolverine so much, like, which one do you like more? Do you like Deadpool 3 more or Deadpool 1? And the way I kind of define it right now, and I need to sit and marinate on it for a while, but the way I define it right now is that I think Deadpool and Wolverine is the funnier of the 2 movies, but the first Deadpool as a complete package, I think just ever so slightly nudges it out. And so for that reason, for me, and Deadpool, the movie that got it all started, the first Deadpool is the one for me that I think is his best film. So just to go over it again, my top 10 Ryan Reynolds films are number 10, If. Number 9, The Adam Project. Number 8, Just Friends. Number 7, Deadpool 2. Number 6, Free Guy. Number 5, Definitely Maybe. Number 4, The Proposal. Number 3, Deadpool and Wolverine. Number 2, the movie he should have been nominated for an Academy Award for, Buried. And my number 1 is Deadpool. Now, I've seen a number of other titles, people dropping in there. What about Van Wilder? I like Van Wilder, right? I did. I like Van Wilder, but not more than the 10 that I had on my list. Green Lantern, by the way, I didn't viscerally hate his Green Lantern movie. I didn't think it was good, but I didn't viscerally hate it. I don't mind his Green Lantern movie the way a lot of people, but obviously not in it. Hitman's Bodyguard. I like Hitman's Bodyguard, but not enough to make it on my list. Hobbs and Shaw, he wasn't he wasn't one of the main stars of the film, so Hobbs and Shaw doesn't thing. Obviously, R.I.P.D. doesn't be on there. Hanny Mehdi is saying Spirited. I like Spirited, and I came close to giving Spirited the number 10 spot, but I preferred If a little bit more, so I gave that to it. Waiting is a bit of a classic. I really like Waiting. It doesn't age so well, but I like Waiting a lot, but still not on my list. Obviously not Amityville Horror, his reboot of it. Life, no, didn't put that up. The Change Up is a movie I really like. He did that with Jason Bateman, right? It was him and Jason Bateman. I actually really like that, but not quite enough to crack my top 10. So anyway, and Safe House, the one he did with Denzel Washington, another movie of his that I like, but not enough to make it on my top 10. So the question is for you guys, what do you think about this? That's my little top 10 list for Ryan Reynolds films. What would your top 10 list for Ryan Reynolds films look like? Did I leave something off? Is there something I have on there that you think has no place being on there? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let me know your thoughts.